IPMNation.com.
Trumpy fights the battle to have it all. Craves $6 billion to build his wall. Standing unattended and clutching his crown while his wall comes a-tumbling down. It's an inefficient and medieval plan. It would accomplish much less than nothing. It's an idea from a foul-con man, and his wall is a failure bound. And most illegals are coming here legally and then deciding they don't want to leave. A wall will not accomplish diddly, but he's got a fairy tale to weave. He looked at Speaker Pelosi then, but she supported him so when she countered with a no and threw in a frown, and his wall came a-tumbling down. He decided that he shut the country down, 'cause he can't let a woman win. His morals may not be the highest caliber, but he's aware that it's a mortal sin. Federal workers are without pay, but he just seems to think that they can ask their daddies for a little cash. He acquired his money that way. He wants a national emergency, a power grab, urgency, but he is causing one instead with windows on the side of his head. $6 billion could be used in ways that aren't simply insane, like adjudicating claims more rapidly with a system that is more humane. Why would he want it if it will not fix security issues we struggle with? He wants what he wants like a big baby. He doesn't care about you or me. He likes to emblazon his name on stuff. Airplanes, yachts, hotels aren't enough. A border wall's where it now belongs, 2,000 miles long. If he's really gotta have it, he can tax the rich, but there's a reason that will not fly. The purpose of his party is to funnel money to the wealthy, and that is why. Most Americans don't want a wall, just smarter border policies, that's all. His approval rating like his hand is small, and his wall comes a-tumbling down. Trumpy fights the battle to have it all. Craves $6 billion to build his wall. Standing unattended and clutching his crown while his wall comes a-tumbling down.
I had to laugh at that one.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is asking President Donald Trump to postpone his State of the Union address until after the partial government shutdown is over. Pelosi made the suggestion in a letter to President Trump Wednesday, citing security concerns. She also offered the president the option of delivering his address in writing. The U.S. Secret Service is responsible for providing security for the annual event. But as Pelosi pointed out, the agency hasn't received funding since the shutdown began last month. And it's unclear when things will be up and running again. It all stems from the fight over funding for President Trump's proposed border wall. He wants $5.7 billion for part of it, and the Democrats have said they won't accept any deal that includes money for it. Trump is scheduled to give the State of the Union address January 29th. The White House didn't immediately comment on Pelosi's request.
You're from another world, and I love to be alone, and I'll hide the truth. I won't miss you when you're gone. I never learned that lesson, no. Things you can't buy, you won't. Fear has got
very, very large brain. He said, Donald Trump, they don't know what to do. Never happened.
Auto sequence starts.
Wow.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's that time again. Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. Oh, my voice is cracking a little bit. We are live. It's that time of year. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, streaming at WMNHradio.org. We're also on Channel 97 Comcast if you're in Manchester. And, of course, we're on the via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. I already see some folks in there. Hello to Matt DaCosta, who joins us, as well as we're calling him Abe Hamad. Hello. That was, by the way, that track I just played, that was IWMU by a band called Wet Leather. And Matt from Wet Leather is going to be calling in just a few minutes, about 4:15. He'll be giving us a call. Looking forward to talk to him, and we'll be playing another track from them later. That's one of the catchiest things I've heard in a long time. I became a fast fan of them. Our friend Kendra L. Saunders turned me on to them, and I'm looking forward to interviewing Matt from the band Wet Leather. What a great name, too. They're from New York City, so he's going to be calling shortly. And then in the second hour today, I'll be joined by, they may get here before then, but I'll be joined live in studio by members of the band Purging Sin from New Hampshire. So a lot of music today, which is cool. It's good to kind of mix it up a little bit. Can't do politics all the time because, boy, even as exciting as it is, it can bring you down a little bit. In some ways. But give us a call if you want to get in a quick call before we talk to Matt from Wet Leather. 603-250-6007 is the number. 603-250-6007. Oh, hello to Chris Rose in the Facebook live chat. Hi, Chris. Of course, you can always opine in the Facebook live chat as well. If you have anything you want to discuss, or if you have a question for our musical guests, a question, a comment, a recipe, a limerick, although no obscene limericks. This is FM radio. So we have to be mindful of that. And before that, by the way, at the top of the show, I played, what's it called again? I want to make sure I get the name of the song right. And I did drop a link in the Facebook live chat. The Wall Came a-Tumbling Down, by Parody Project. I feature a lot of their stuff. It's a little hit and miss, but I like that one. They do a lot of great political song parodies here. Just quickly, before we get into some other stuff, before Matt calls us and we get into some music, there's a little bit of news today. This is something we'll just mention very, very briefly because it's not something that I'm happy about. But Reuters is reporting as of about an hour ago, or actually 2 hours ago, Russia and the U.S. have officially failed to save the missile treaty, and we're pulling out of that, which is not good news. So I'm not happy to see that. I hope that changes somehow, and I have a feeling that this is John Bolton's handiwork. John Bolton, that's not to say this wouldn't be happening if John Bolton hadn't gotten in there. But, John Bolton, very, very hawkish. I continue to be suspicious that it's actually his mustache that is controlling him. For all we know, John Bolton could be some granola-eating hippie. But the mustache is evil. And it controls John Bolton's actions, and it forces him to do things that ultimately make the world less safe, regardless of what he'll try to tell you and how he'll try to sell it. I believe it's the mustache. The mustache is off-putting. Facial hair can be. I know we live in an era where facial hair is a big thing. People grow these big beards. There's even a word for it. They call it bearding. When you grow a big beard and whatnot, everybody wants to look like a lumberjack or whatever. I have a little thing here, but I keep it trimmed. I don't. If I let it grow, it gets itchy. It's terrible, and I'm afraid I have to be honest with you. And this is largely based on my theory about John Bolton. I'm afraid if I let my facial hair grow in too much, that it might eventually overtake me and begin to control my actions. What if my facial hair is evil? So I worry about things like that. Some of you might think, oh, Matt, you're just being paranoid or whatever. I think that these are things that need to be considered. It's what you don't expect to get you that'll get you. And it might be your own facial hair. It'll just turn on you one day and make you do terrible things. So that's something to consider. So I keep mine well coiffed, if I could say that. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly. Probably not. Also, according to Reuters, hours after U.S. troops are killed in Syria, Pence claims the Islamic State is defeated. Well, I do favor getting out of Syria and the drawdown in Afghanistan, but it's kind of like, but I mean, the Islamic State is not defeated fully, and likely never will be fully, right? It's like they used to say. I mean, it was before my time, but they used to say, in terms of getting out of Vietnam, let's declare victory and leave, which I guess is what we ultimately did. But, I don't want to stay in Syria indefinitely and continue with this unending, just perpetual war that, makes some people a lot of money. I understand that. According to my favorite website, and hopefully yours, rightwingwatch.org, I get a lot of fun stuff from there. This one's a bit random. This is one of the more interesting ones I've seen on that site. According to Charlie Shamp, who apparently is a self-proclaimed prophet, he was on the Jim Baker show today. By the way, did y'all get your Jim Baker food buckets? You got to get ready in case the apocalypse does happen, especially now that we've pulled out of this missile treaty. You need your Jim Baker food buckets. Which I know doesn't make any sense because the way he sells them is, well, when the rapture happens, you're going to need them. It's like, well, if the rapture is true, if you believe in what Jim Baker tells you, you're going to be swept up into heaven. So why would you need a food bucket? It's the sinners who need the food buckets, right? But the sinners aren't watching Jim Baker's show. And this is a horrible flaw in the whole marketing of the Jim Baker Staying Alive food buckets. And that literally is what they're called. Jim Baker's Staying Alive food buckets. But anyway, so this guy, Charlie Shamp, was on there. And he claimed that he was taken by the Spirit and brought to a stadium which began to shake, where he was told by God that Pete Rose will be forgiven and inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame as a sign of the imminent return of Christ. This makes perfect sense. I mean, theologically, I think it holds up. Sound to me. Theologically sound. He was told that such an event will take place at some point in the future. Well, duh. Of course, if you're talking about an event that's going to take place, it's going to take place in the future. That's a little redundant. I think God was a bit redundant in speaking to this gentleman. I mean, not to be critical, but I would maybe economize my language a little bit. So very, very exciting. Maybe we'll come back to that later. Perhaps we'll address that when the members of Purging Sin are here. They might have some thoughts on it. But let's see if this is our first guest. Hello, is this Matt?
Hello, yes.
Matt, welcome to Matt Connarton
Matt.
Unleashed. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
it's great to talk to you. I don't know if you heard any of it, but I opened the show with this track IWMU because, frankly, it's one of the catchiest things I've heard in a long time. I really, really like it, and we're gonna play. We'll play another song, of course, at the end of the segment. But and you guys are from New York City, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And how many people are in the band?
We're kind of a bit of a rotating lineup these days.
Oh.
So there are 4 of us.
Okay.
So we got Barry Marino on the drums, Dema Paxton Fofong is our bassist.
Uh-huh.
Jason Katzenstein plays keyboards, and I sing and play guitar.
Very good. And we have Kendra L. Saunders just popped into the Facebook live chat. She says, yay, I got here in time. So well done, Kendra.
Hey, Kendra.
How did you and Kendra meet, by the way? Because she's the one who connected us.
Kendra works at the Footlight,
Mm-hmm.
which is a bar in my neighborhood, and we have played there several times.
Yeah.
I think that's how we met.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's what she had mentioned actually. So very cool. So I want to ask you about your sound. I noticed. What I hear in your music is it's. I don't know if maybe it's because of the keyboards, but it reminds me a little bit of. I don't know if anyone even uses this term anymore, but it was a term that was used a lot when I was growing up. New wave. But I also I get a little bit of like fits and the tantrums from it and whatnot. But when I was looking at your Bandcamp page at bandcamp.com, I noticed it said, one of the things it said was anxiety pop, which is not a term I'm familiar with. But what is anxiety pop?
Yeah, we coined that, and I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I think, the new wave thing
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned. Obviously, we love a lot of new wave bands like, Talking Heads.
Oh, one of my favorites.
One, and oh yeah, absolutely, we love them. And
Yeah.
it's just a kind of nervy, like neurotic, everyman kind of persona that David Byrne kind of embodied.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big reference point for us when we're thinking about writing music, and the lyrics to come from that same kind of place. I think probably
Yeah.
a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I like the term anxiety pop. I think that's cool. And I mean, do you have, is it difficult talking about, what you guys sound like? Because I listened to a number of different tracks, and I mean, there's definitely, you can tell there's a range of influences. You're one of those, bands that not everything kind of sounds the same. Like a lot of bands, you kind of, you might hear several different tracks, and you can kind of, the through line is obvious, and, it's like, okay, they have a specific sound that they're kind of trying to stick with. But I hear a lot of variance in your music, which I think is really cool. But I mean, is that intentional? Do you guys set out to kind of keep it a little extra interesting that way, or does it just come naturally?
I mean, I'm glad that you feel that way.
Yeah.
I think we definitely wear our influences on our sleeves. I mean, I think none of us have any sort of. We're not trying to pull a fast one.
Yeah.
If like we love Prince, and that
Yeah.
I think comes through in a lot of the songs, and we love like Blur.
Yep.
And LCD Sound System, and our newer stuff kind of reflects that.
Yeah.
And it's I think like a band like LCD Sound System, they always, there was never any attempt to hide their influences.
Right.
The songs that sounded like David Bowie sounded like David Bowie on purpose, and I think
Right.
we kind of have the same approach. We don't want to be ripping off any of our heroes, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's definitely gratifying if you hear bits and pieces of things that are familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, how long has this project been going?
In one form or another since 2014.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh, okay. So you've been at it a little while.
Yeah, we've been around for a while. We definitely, been playing shows in New York for several years, and seen a lot of places come and go, and
Yeah.
bands come and go, and it's I think we're all glad to still be doing it.
Yeah. What is your live show like? Because I would imagine that I would imagine that your music lends itself to some, I mean, you probably, I'm guessing you don't just get up and play. There's probably some sort of visual aspect to it, or maybe not. I don't know. But what is your live show like?
I mean, we'd love to have more of a visual aspect, but when I think our live shows are pretty, when we play at the Footlight, for instance, it's pretty intimate. You know,
Yeah.
we're playing at small clubs, and it's more about, you know, we like direct pop songs. So
Yeah.
I think our approach to playing live is just let's try to like get as many songs in as we can, and keep a minimum of fuss, and just there's no light show, there's no pyrotechnics yet.
Right. Yeah, because I can imagine you guys in a big place, you know, in an arena with lots of cool effects. But I can definitely also imagine, you know, in a small place, just you know, playing the songs, and like you said, being very sort of, you know, direct with the audience, which is cool. Do you guys tour outside of New York, or do you kind of? I mean, obviously, if you're in New York, you don't. It's not like you need to venture out a lot. You know, you're in the greatest city in the world, but I mean, have you gone on tour anywhere outside of there?
Yeah, we did a tour last summer. We went just up and down the East Coast from Maine to DC.
Oh wow, very cool. Good.
And this year, yeah, that was great. I mean, we love doing that. We love playing here, but obviously, getting out of town is kind of part of the fun.
Yeah.
And this year we will be we're working on some dates in some more far-flung places, so hopefully we'll have news about that
excellent
very soon. But we're excited to tour more.
Yeah, good. Kendra in the Facebook live chat says they make music that is great for dancing.
Thanks, Kendra.
There you go.
That's definitely the goal. That's definitely what we want. We want to, you know, if we see people dancing at the shows, we know we're doing a good job.
Is it ever a challenge to find other acts? I mean, probably not in New York, because you've got a lot you got all kinds of people. But is it ever a challenge to find other acts to share shows with that you're compatible with? Because, you know, in some genres, like if you're a metal band, just as an example, you know, there's a million metal bands all around you that you can hook up and do shows with, you know what I mean? Just as one example. But what you're doing is, you know, is not as common, the genre that you're working in. Is that ever a challenge to find other artists that you're compatible with for live shows?
Yeah, actually. And that's not there's a million great bands in New York, and a lot of our friends, but our main kind of gripe is that we're not a pop band. So I mean, we love pop. We love pop, obviously.
Yeah,
it's evident, from our music that we love that. But we're a scrappy band.
Mm-hmm.
We're we love like the kind of new wave and punk bands that you mentioned before. That our skills are more comparable to a band like we're just never going to be polished enough to play with a pop band.
Yeah.
But we're also, there's a lot of great garage rock and punk rock, and a lot of our friends play in edgy, harder bands, and we don't really fit in over there either.
Huh.
So we kind of, it is a little bit of a challenge to find bands that kind of are mining the same territory. Obviously there's a million out there, but it is like an interesting challenge, but we don't, I like when we are paired with bands that sound nothing like us. It's nice to play shows where there's, a couple different kinds of music on the bill. I think there's no reason why, you should go to a show and have to see the same set 3 times in a row.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I used to do a lot of concert promotion, and my favorite shows to put together were the ones where, it wasn't just going to be like a night of metal or, a night of just acoustic singer-songwriters, but, really kind of mixing it up a little bit. I always thought that was, from my perspective, that was more fun. Risky, but it was more fun. It was more interesting, but also, too, to see somebody who doesn't quite fit in kind of win over a crowd. is always very satisfying. And I'm sure from your perspective, when you're in a situation like that, I mean, that must be part of the fun of the challenge, right? Part of what makes it exciting is, let's go and, we're going to win these people over.
Totally. I think we definitely have kind of an underdog attitude about that sort of thing. And, it's definitely, if we've ever won anybody over, I'm very glad to have done it. And we've definitely played some shows where we did not win the audience over. And that's, builds character. And it's kind of almost fun to get in people's face and just play your set and just let the chips fall where they may.
Right. Yeah. You're right about that being a character builder. I know from some of my own experience how that goes for sure. I think a lot of musicians can relate to that. And tell me a little bit about the production, because everything I've listened to that you guys put out, I mean, the production's fantastic. Is everything self-produced? Do you work with a producer? Tell me about your recording process a little bit, because the stuff just sounds great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, there's definitely one person is responsible for that, is our friend Andrew Lappin. Is the one who produced all of our recordings. Andrew Lappin. He's amazing producer. His star has definitely risen a lot. He works with a lot of I don't know if I'm allowed to say who he's working with right now, but he's a friend, and we met him kind of by chance when we were just starting out and getting ready to record. So, we kind of fell into working with this guy who has turned out to be like a really amazing, producer, engineer, mixer. And we were, I guess, one of the first projects he worked on when he was like really launching his career. So, we were kind of grandfathered into working with this guy who, and he does do a great job. And the recordings come out very polished, and it's kind of an interesting contrast with the way we approach the live show and the whole ethos of the band. It's really kind of interesting to have to live up to these like incredible recordings that he puts together. But yeah, he recorded and mixed everything.
Okay. And does that apply to absolutely everything you guys have online?
Yeah.
Okay.
There may be like one or two really old demos still floating around, but all of our stuff on Spotify has his imprimatur.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's nice. He's a dear friend, and he's a talented dude.
No, he does a great job. I mean, just sitting here listening to that track I played earlier with the headphones, it was like, wow, this sounds really, really good. What do you have out now? That song IWMU, is that from the EP? Because you guys had an EP, right? Previously?
Yeah. Our EP came out last year. It's called Past Lives, and that's the first track. Okay.
And then now, what about? Because in a minute, I'm going to play when we wrap up. I'm going to play another track from you guys. I'm going to play the song "Party," which I really, really love. Is that also on that EP, or is that newer?
That's new. That's a newer song.
Okay.
So that Parties. We're really excited about that song as kind of a indication of where we're going next.
Yeah.
So that's a single we released at the end of last year.
Okay.
And it's going to be, it's like the first single from our upcoming full length.
Oh, very good. And why the decision to do a full length this time instead of another EP?
Well, it's kind of just a theoretical full length right now. I mean,
okay.
We're excited to, just keep releasing singles for the moment, and eventually, I think we're all looking forward to just kind of cherry picking the 9 songs that we want to put on a record, but it's there doesn't seem to be a reason to do But there doesn't seem to be like a practical reason to do a full-length record
Yeah.
in this day and age, unless if you have a creative reason to, to make an album that's like thematically connected, then that's probably the only reason to do it. So we're right now excited about just doing a bunch of singles, and we have a bunch more music that we're getting ready to release, hopefully in springtime.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's interesting. We live in an era where, I don't know how old you are, but, I'm old enough to remember when it was like, bands, they put out an album and it was almost always a full length, occasionally an EP, but usually a full length. And then they go on tour, and then a couple years later, there's another full length, and that was the pattern. And, today we live in an era where you've really got all kinds of options. And, I've noticed, especially over the last couple of years, a lot of artists that I interview, there's a trend of really kind of approaching it the way you were just talking about. Maybe you put out a series of singles, and then eventually those singles will comprise a full length. But for now, you're just putting them out individually, and it kind of, I think what's smart about that approach is it helps to kind of feed that. Once you have that momentum going online, you've got fans, you've got new people that are discovering you along the way. You want to keep giving them content, keep giving them new stuff to keep them interested. And I think it's a very sound strategy. And also, as someone who became a Fast fan, I'm selfishly glad that we don't have to wait for a full length to hear new music from you. So that's great. Are you guys constantly writing, or is it more just kind of when you get the urge, you all get together and write?
Yeah, and thank you for that, by the way.
Oh,
but
yeah,
of
course.
Yeah, we're definitely always writing. So, it's nice to not have to wait to release something, and instead of having to set up an album months in advance, we can just kind of throw some stuff on the internet if we feel like it. And, that's not been our style up to this point, but it's nice. It's nice to have that option available, not be tied into any sort of like album cycle mentality.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Have you guys done any videos, by the way? Are there any videos for the tracks that you've released?
Yeah. We have videos for a bunch of our old tracks. There's a video for the song "Yours and Mine."
Okay.
Which is one of our older songs, and our friend Ethan Young directed that video. And we just recently shot a video for Party with him.
Oh, cool.
And so that's going to be the next thing we're going to release. So hopefully we're kind of trying to set up that release for sometime in the spring when we get ready to release new music. But it's a great video.
Oh, cool.
I think Kendra's seen it, so you can ask her.
Oh, she got a sneak peek.
Opinion.
Okay.
But,
oh, very cool. Very cool. All right, Matt. Well, listen, you've been generous with your time, but before we let you go, please just let us know what we need to know about keeping up with you guys online, if there's a website we should be going to, and anything you want us to know about social media. And if you have any shows, we're in Manchester, New Hampshire, but we have a lot of listeners online from New York and other places. So any shows that you want us to know about, too, that you want to promote, please go for it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we're everywhere that I think we're supposed to be. And we got a Bandcamp, we got a SoundCloud, we got an Instagram. It's just Wet Leather, so I'm very happy we got that Wet Leather handle.
Yeah.
Not taken. But yeah, you can find the music on Bandcamp, and yeah, we're not. We're going to be announcing some shows soon, so if you keep an eye on our Instagram page, that's where all the updates will be happening.
Yeah, and you're very Googleable. If I found that if you Google Wet Leather, it's easy to find you guys. Oh, I do have to ask you too, one more thing. Where does the name come from? Because I just love the name Wet Leather. That's such a cool name.
It's just it was definitely the most ridiculous thing we could. It was yeah. We're going to be having to live up to that name
Yeah.
the rest of our life as a band. So it's good. It gives us something to aim for.
It is. It's a fantastic name. So, no, I love it. All right, Matt. Well, we'll let you go. And in a minute, I'm gonna play this other track, Party, which is just fantastic. But thank you so much for joining us today. And, Kendra, by the way, says the video is amazing. So she's confirming that she likes the video. But thank you so much, and let's stay in touch, because when you have maybe when the video's ready to come out, or you're heading out on tour or whatever, I'd love to have you back, and let's stay in touch. And I look forward to hearing even more new music from you guys.
That sounds great. Thank you for having me, Matt.
All right, you got it, brother. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right, that was Matt from the band Wet Leather. And Kendra, thank you so much for setting that up. And that was cool. And sounds like a good dude. Well, of course, I like musicians. I'm biased. Let's play this. This is, I love this track even more than the one I played earlier. And then we'll come back with more Unleashed. And don't forget, in a bit, we're going to be joined in studio by members of the band Purging Sin. But here it is. This is Wet Leather with Party.
Somebody made a big decision. Now we're falling apart. And me, I'm having visions. They almost stop my heart. Now I'm laughing so hard on the telephone rings, and I'm shaking so bad I can't hold my drink. Is this the world we were given? I think I almost found religion. Oh, it's making me sick. Don't you know it's making me sick? I don't like to live. I And now what once was hidden will be revealed to the living, and it's alright. Now we all will be forgiven, or is the nightmare just beginning? And it's making me sick. Don't you know it's making me sick? Nothing but a slap on the wrist. You got to touch me up here. Don't you know? No, it's making me sick all the time. What if it's wrong? All the time. What if it's wrong? Somebody made a big decision. Now I'm falling apart.
Well, I was taken in the Spirit. I went into a vision, and I was brought to a national stadium where there was a sporting event that was happening, and suddenly the whole entire stadium started to shake. And the Lord said, "I'm returning again to America to shake the stadiums for revival." But my sons and daughters need to recognize that when this happens, this was an event that's going to take place some point in the future. There will be a stadium that will shake again. Again, that's very, you need to understand again. Because in the encounter that I had, the Lord brought me back to 1989, the year 1989. And he took me into another stadium. And in this stadium, I saw it begin to violently shake. And I said, Lord, where am I? And he said, you're in Candlestick Park.
Oh, yeah, World Series.
The third game of the World Series.
Yeah.
And he said, I brought this shaking as a sign of awakening of what I wanted to do in 1989. And then suddenly I was lifted into the city of Cincinnati. And I saw a man standing in red. And I said, who is this, Lord? He said, this is Peter to me. He said, this man was a pastime hero of America. And I said, who is it, Lord? He said, Pete Rose. He said, 1989, he said there was a massive scandal that took place with Pete Rose.
That's right.
He said, and even to this day, he has not been allowed to enter into the Hall of Fame.
No.
But he said as a prophetic sign, he said that the Lord will redeem him and allow him to be forgiven and enter into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And it will be a sign to the church that those that have been away from the Lord, that were playing in the game, they were playing in the game, they were on the field, but they were taken out through scandal. The Lord said that it will be a sign that I'm returning.
Just let me stop just a second.
Yes, sir.
Pete Rose, this is crazy. He sent me a baseball.
Pete Rose just sent you a baseball.
Yes, and wrote on
A
it.
few years ago.
Wow.
And asked me to pray for him.
Yes. Plus, we have a big poster of Pete Rose that he signed.
Nobody's ever mentioned.
To us.
I mean, I've never talked about it.
No,
before.
we've
never
never
told
talked about
anybody.
it.
But you're sharing this.
Yeah.
It's wow.
So there you go, my friends. I had to share that because we were talking about it earlier. That is, what's this guy's name again? Because I don't think we've talked about him before. Yes, Charlie Shamp. So Pete Rose. So that's the plan. Apparently, he's been spoken to by the Lord, and Pete Rose will be forgiven, and inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that will bring back the second coming of Christ. And then to which Jim Bakker said, wow, this is crazy. And for a second I thought, wow, Jim Bakker's calling this crazy. But then it turned out that Jim Bakker was on board with it. Pete Rose gave me a baseball. There must be something to this. So fun stuff. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? Hello? It's the Phantom. Oh, they hung up. All right. Well, very sorry. Maybe that was Jim Bakker calling, and he got cold feet. So anyway, very exciting stuff. Let's see. Anthony from Purging Sin is here, but when the other guys get here, for those watching on Facebook Live, you can see him. When the other guys get here, we'll chat, we'll play something, etc. Another big thing that just happened in the news that I wanted to mention is, according to Reuters, UK Prime Minister Theresa May seeks to end Brexit stalemate after winning a confidence vote. She's had a very difficult time trying to handle this, this Brexit situation, and I got to tell you, I wish that is there some way that they could just maybe have another referendum and just kind of undo this whole thing, because it's been just an absolute nightmare. And I'm sure Theresa May would love to just be able to say, hey, never mind. But yeah, it says here, British Prime Minister Theresa May won a confidence vote in the British Parliament today, before inviting other party leaders for immediate talks to try to break the impasse on a Brexit divorce agreement. Let's see, there's a little bit of audio here, but it's a long clip, so we'll skip that. But lawmakers voted 325 to 306 that they had confidence in May's government just 24 hours after handing her European Union withdrawal deal a crushing defeat that left Brexit's exit from the bloc in disarray. With the clock ticking down to March 29th, the date set in law for Brexit, the United Kingdom is now in the deepest political crisis in a half century as it grapples with how or even whether to exit the European project it joined in 1973. So again, I mean, I think the answer is find some way out of this. It says here, after the results of the confidence vote were announced to cheers from conservative lawmakers, May said she believed Parliament had a duty to find a solution that delivered on the 2016 Brexit referendum result. May told Parliament, quote, "To that end, I have proposed a series of meetings between senior parliamentarians and representatives of the government over the coming days. I would like to invite the leaders of parliamentary parties to meet with me individually, and I would like to start these meetings tonight," unquote. But with lawmakers deadlocked on the way forward, the UK could face a disorderly no-deal Brexit, a delay to Brexit, or even another referendum on membership. Now, again, I think that would be the best play. They need another referendum and just undo this entire mess. All right. So we have, is this everybody, Anthony? Oh, here, let me turn that, let me get your mics on there.
Yeah, this is all of us, other guitarist Matt. He is still physically at work.
Oh, oh, well, doesn't he know? I mean, does he not grasp the opportunity that he's missing out on being here? I mean, this is
he grasps it.
He does, but he's new job, literally within the last week. And, yeah, I mean
some New Year's Eve shenanigans as well.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he's still recovering from a slip and fall. Unfortunately, I mean, he's on the mend, luckily, but yeah, that was not a fun time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, all right. So why don't we'll go around, Anthony, we'll start with you. Why don't you each introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band Purging Sin?
I am Anthony. I play guitar and do lead vocals in the band, and primary songwriter, lyricist.
Okay.
Chris, I play drums, turntables. No, I'm just kidding. I just play drums and tell jokes. That's my job.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you fit right in. And you, sir?
He's the funny one. He's the brains. That makes me the muscle. So I'm Brian. I am the bassist and backup vocalist for Purging Sin. And there's really not much more to say.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. No, I'm kidding. No, I also am a bass player, but I've in none of the bands that I've been in have I been the muscle. Unfortunately, I would have expected Anthony to be the muscle.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big guy. No.
No.
All right. So who are we missing? Who's the guy who had to work? Because that's so important.
Matt Harris is the other guitar player. And
Wait, Matt Harris?
Yeah.
I know Matt Harris.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I didn't know he.
Yeah, almost 3 years now he's been in the band.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he on your CD?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's on there. Yeah.
Is his name on here?
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I know Matt Harris. I
Yeah.
didn't realize he was in your band.
Yeah.
We can get your his autograph for about $5 if you want it.
Oh, that's very exciting. Unless it's not that. Well, Matt Harris is a common name. Am I thinking of the same Matt Harris?
Really tall, bald head.
Yeah.
Yep. That's him.
Nice guy.
Yes.
Yep.
He's a really nice guy. Yeah, I haven't seen him in probably a decade. He's been in your band for 3 years?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had no idea. All right.
Come out to some shows, man. He
Yeah.
shreds.
I know. Well, now I'm bummed that he's not here. I mean, don't get me wrong. You guys will do.
Thanks.
Just kidding. but that's really cool. That's really cool that you're playing with Matt. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we love having him. He's a
Oh,
heck of a
yeah.
guitarist.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's got some fast fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Now, what about, because when I interviewed you, what was that, like 5 years ago? It was a while ago, right?
Yeah, I think that was in 2012, I want to say.
Okay.
around there.
Yeah. Wow. Now, were you guys, forgive me for not remembering, but it's been a long time. Were you guys in the band?
No, I was
No,
long.
we're fairly newer additions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys are the new guys.
Yes.
Newer than Matt Harris?
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Well, me, yes, but him, no.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So it started with. So what happened to? Tell us what happened along the way, Anthony, to these other members, because as you may recall from our previous interview, I'm always looking for the dirt. I want the dirt.
How much time do we have?
We have plenty of time for dirt. We always have time for dirt.
To give the quick, fast, and easy.
Well, you can. It doesn't have to be quick, fast, and easy.
Ken, the drummer that you had met at the interview in Laconia, he had an emergency surgery on his gallbladder.
Oh.
and so they cut them all open, and the result of that was the twisting and turning was affected quite a bit. And being a drummer, you're twisting and turning for drum rolls.
Nah, you never do that.
And it really took a toll on him. It took the surgery was in December. He wasn't able to play drums until around April.
Oh, okay.
So it was not a quick recovery, and even when he did recover, recovery and complications afterwards were not always one and the same.
Yeah.
And he soldiered on for a little bit towards the end of October, but after that, he's like, I'm in pain. This hurts to play. I'm sorry, I have to bow out.
Oh wow! So he tried.
Yeah, he soldiered on as long as he could, and him and I still talk. We're still very good friends. He's always rooting for us, but he's always welcome to hang out, and
that's got to be tough, like psychologically for a musician, or and you hear athletes go through it too, and anyone who does anything really physical, to have something, and not even because he was getting older, but because something happens health wise that prevents him from doing what he loves.
Especially drums, and especially in metal. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
hard to-
oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Is that the only instrument he plays?
Yeah. So it kind of took his hair to drums, and
because that's the most physical. I mean, you're using all four of your limbs and you're twisting.
After
and,
a practice or a show, I'm drenched. It's like I just ran a marathon. And it's like,
I
don't even know where I'm at.
Wow. Take care of your gallbladder.
It's actually in this bag right here.
Well, good. Yes, keep it on ice or whatever you do with it. Yes.
We had gone through a couple of guitar players / bassist configurations, and there was always a complication of it's too far to drive, to this, to that, work schedules. Some of them the other half was always whispering in the ear, you have to play a show. Yes, we do.
Right.
But it just once that kind of got pushed away, got members that were more committed.
Well, that's such a challenge, too, finding people who are committed. I have an axiom that I've been saying for many, many years is everyone wants to be a rock star, but only as long as it's easy. And
everyone wants to be a rock star until it's time to do rock star things, which is practicing, you're setting up, breaking down gear, writing songs. It's hot, it's cold, you're spending your own money.
Actual
you're doing
effort.
all the dirty work in the trenches, and all you see is like an MTV or YouTube where there's thousands of people in a crowd. Well, that's not where it starts.
Right,
you
exactly.
You don't judge the book by the cover. You sign up for what you want to, but you got to put in the work for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's always a challenge. I mean, do you guys before you guys were in this band, did you both find that in previous bands that you'd been in, or?
Yeah, it really was like. I've been in at least 2 bands before this, but didn't do a lot of shows. But it was really like everything breaking down, put our name out there, and just really being committed to just practicing and making sure. Because whenever we had a show, it was like a deadline for us, like an important project we had to be ready for. Almost like in school.
Sure.
So, but I totally knew what was going on. But even like with the bands that I've been in the past, like. Nowhere as successful as these guys.
Yeah. Well, cool.
I think that's the best part is having experience in other bands.
Right.
And it kind of gives you the chance to make those mistakes. Like I started very young. I was about 97 when I started playing in bands. So I kind of made so many mistakes, which is fine back then.
Yeah.
And gone to the studio or played shows or made the wrong decisions. And, and you make all those things. And now it leads you up to now where you're a little more mature, you're a little more wise. And then you come into a band like now, Purging Sin is in a very healthy, mature state.
Yeah.
Where we're really playing at the top of our game, and we use all of our experience from the past to help the present now and looking to the future.
Right.
So you started playing in 97. That was more than 20. That was 22 years ago.
I'm 37 now.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah. So I've been playing for a long time.
Wow. Good for you.
Thank you. You'd never be able to tell that I'm the youngest in the band.
Are you? How old are you?
25.
25. Well, it's because you're the muscle. You gotta.
I know.
You can't be looking like some 25-year-old baby-faced dude. You gotta be looking like the
macho, like kind of like bike, like Harley rider kind of thing.
Right. Exactly. How about you, Anthony? Like, what look are you going for?
Well, sometimes the full beard, sometimes a clean cut. I'm kind of in between now.
I can't do the full, like, sometimes I let it grow in, but it itches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was us going on nose and ears. No,
Yeah,
that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, you guys all have way more facial hair than me, but most people do. Like, beards are like the big thing now, and it's like I can't do it.
Yep.
Flava Sava.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. But I just
Nacho
can't.
flavor.
No, well, oh my goodness. Well, now see, that's a discussion for my other show, Matt Connarton Unsheathed.
Oh.
But we don't carry that here
Where's
on
the
WM.
drum?
That show is it's only available on the dark web, and I'm legally prohibited from telling you how to find it. So, but
I getcha.
if you're surfing at 3 a.m., you might run across it. But it's but you don't really want to watch it. It's psychologically scarring. So very, very, very troubling stuff. So I've got the CD here, and I've got the tracks online here too. So this is here. I'll, like they do on television, because we are on Facebook Live right now. I'll kind of hold it up for people to see. Purging Sin, self-titled. Let's play something. What do you want to play?
Speaking Through Silence is a really fun track. It's the opening track.
It's the opening
of the
track.
album.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, very good. And it's the four of you on this. Is this the band on? Well, including Matt Harris.
We had a previous drummer on this album, and we parted ways with him actually right after.
Oh, okay.
The tracking of the album.
And same time too, I actually joined the band after this was finished recording, because they had a bass player before me.
Oh.
And so. Anthony, you recorded.
I did all the bass work on it.
So Anthony,
okay.
This guy's a one-man band over here.
Wow, yeah.
I can't play drums, trust me. I can't play drums.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what happened? So now the drummer who left, he's not the same as the gallbladder guy, is he?
No. A lot of it with him was distance. I mean, he was a very far away, ways away, and so that was kind of the big chunk of the departure. And there was some other stuff. I mean, the personality differences.
Because that'd be kind of funny, actually. Like, you know how Spinal Tap, like all their drummers blow up, spontaneously combust? Like, it'd be kind of funny if all your drummers had...
Sometimes I wish that.
all your previous drummers, I should say, it'd be kind of funny if they all had, gallbladder issues. Like,
oh, jeez.
I mean, it wouldn't be funny, but it'd be... it'd be sad and tragic, but...
Right.
But if you're a horrible
Nice
person
theme.
like me, it'd be funny. I'd be like, wow, that's pretty
No,
funny.
we're much happier having Chris. He fits the band far better.
Yeah.
Cue the.
I wish I had that cued.
Yeah, we were in between bass players as well, but the album soldiered on. The reason of the mismatched bass player was the previous bass player got a much different work schedule, and physically, when you're working when everyone else is playing, it's just not going to work. If you're working a mid-shift, second shift, and the band practices and rehearses and plays shows, and you're never there, sorry, can't. Nice guy, great personality, but unfortunately, we you can't be in a band if you can't show up.
Right, exactly.
And I got to say, Brian, our bass player now, is probably one of the best bass players I've played with. In my career. So I'm very happy this time. This is my second stint in the band, and
it is,
and the first time playing with him, and that was like wow, like a big draw for me coming back. Like I was really happy with. We got our rhythm section down right here.
Now, how come? So you left and came back?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a band is kind of like I'm dating three other dudes or something, And
right.
You kind of have different personalities and different things going on, and maybe things happen, and then things unhappen, and then you want to join back up, and we all kind of came together, and we're like, what makes sense right now, and
cool.
Man, it's been 10 times even better this time around. So what you hear on the CD, if you like it, get ready for the next time we record, because it's going to be over the top. For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've already started debuting a new track live anyway for what's going to be the next album.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in progress. I mean, it's we're trying to write more quickly than not. Get back on that track again.
We've played 3 or 4 shows with this lineup now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And we've gotten really good feedback. From anything from like stage presence to sound to just the raw energy. So we've gotten really good
Good.
Trying this lineup out, chemistry wise in a room, we're good. But on stage, people like it too. So
excellent. Well, we'll give this a listen. So this is called "Speaking Through Silence." It's the opening track on the new. How long has this been out? Is this
May, June? Somewhere right around that time.
Less than a year. Yeah. Anything less than a year is new, I think. Oh, by the way, Jenny in the Facebook live chat said, "Eat well." And I think I probably just didn't see it right away. It was probably a reference to taking care of your gallbladder. Eat well.
Thank you.
All right, so here it is. This is Speaking Through Silence from Purging Sin here on Matt Connarton Unleashed.
Actions speak louder than words can. Growth and decay, and I give this all to you. Where does this lead? We shall see. Illusions betrayed, and I give this all to you. Silence, speak no more. Silence, speak. Silence forgotten. Silence, speak no more. Silence, speak. Silence forgotten. The effects show on your face. Tear it apart, and I give this all to you. All your success laid to waste. Here's your escape, and I give this all to you. Silence, speak no more. Silence, speak. Silence forgotten. Silence, speak no more. Silence, speak. Silence forgotten. On life support, then on hold. End of days, and I give this all to you. Orphan and widows left in your wake. Endless suffering, and I give this all to you. Silence, speak no more. Silence, speak. Silence forgotten. Silence, speak no more. Silence, speak. Silence forgotten.
That is Speaking Through Silence by Purging Sin. Whoops. Sorry about that. I didn't know this was
Remix.
This was on autoplay. I did not realize that. Yes, it's the extended version here, exclusively on Matt Connarton Unleashed. So, hey, so where obviously I'm sure we discussed this last time that I interviewed you, but where does the name Purging Sin come from?
Well, it comes from the actual song that I wrote when I was 16 years old, and to give a little bit of melancholy background of me. My father passed away when I was very, very young.
Ooh.
And his whole family totally excommunicated, wanted nothing to do with us. And, growing up as a kid, you're trying to figure out, what did you do wrong? What did he do wrong?
Yeah.
Why would the whole family not want to talk to you at all?
Yeah.
Just like trying to reach out.
Wow.
So as I got a little older, I kind of felt more like, whatever, like the sins of the father go down to the son type deal. They kept, they didn't like him. They don't like his next of kin.
Wow.
And
that's crummy.
yeah, and I tried it up until they passed away just a couple or so years ago, and I tried for about 30 years to reach out.
Who passed away? Like the rest of the?
Oh yeah, like his parents, my grandparents. And,
Okay.
Even to the very end, nothing.
Now what about your mother? 'Cause you said your dad passed away, right?
Yeah, she's gone too.
Oh, okay. They're okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, she passed away about almost 9 years ago.
Okay. And but your dad passed away like.
And, yeah, he died in 1987.
Oh wow. Okay. Jeez. So was your mom? But you continued to have a relationship with your mom?
Yeah, I mean, I lived with her until I was about 21. I moved out and
Yeah.
was on my own.
But did they kind of excommunicate her as well?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They wanted nothing to do for whatever reason, and I'll never have an answer.
So you have no idea?
Nope.
Wow.
They took it with them.
Wow. Not even an explanation. That's terrible.
But I mean, it got channeled into something constructive at least.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, that's what's cool is, you're able to, cause that's a terrible thing to have happen to you. Your own family do that to you, but then to be able to take that and do something positive with it and actually create something, create art. I mean, that's where I think a lot of art comes from, whether it's music or any kind of art, really, it comes from, you hear comedians talk about that a lot. Like a lot of comedians, they have a really hard time growing up, maybe family issues or whatever. So they turn to comedy and they tell jokes about it to deal with it. Any time that you can take something, because I think it's important to point it out too, because I think there's probably a lot of people walking around in the world who had a hard time or are having a hard time presently with something, who maybe have that urge to do something creatively, but then they don't do it, because a lot of people do that anyway, right? Like they'll talk about, oh, I'd like to play in a band, but I don't know, or I'd like to take up painting or whatever it is artistically that they're thinking about maybe doing, but then they never take that step. But they'd probably benefit from it even more than they realize, because then you can work all that stuff out, and use that, whatever that negative experience was, to create something, which is to take that negative and turn it into a positive because you're creating art.
Yeah,
So,
I think adversity is the greatest motivator, really.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So when did you start Purging Sin? When did the band start originally?
Very late 2011.
Okay.
Going into 2012. Ken and I, the gallbladder drummer, we actually we were in a cover band together, doing 35 cover songs, but that fell apart. Just
What kind of covers were you doing?
90s alternative covers.
I notice you grit your teeth when you say that. Was that the name of the band, Gritted Teeth?
No, we were called Deviation.
Oh.
I mean,
I like the name.
The name was cool, but the playing of 5 Nirvana songs a night was not.
5? Wow.
5. Yeah. After a while, I was like, you're sleepwalking through something. And I have a lot of respect for Dave Grohl. And,
of course, yeah.
But some of the songs, I'm like, no, so I can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a couple of fun songs like Far Away, from Candlebox and stuff. So So we did like Rockin' the Free Will from Neil Young. So there were some rockin' songs.
Yeah.
But that was in between 30 other songs that you can fall asleep to while playing.
Right. How long did you do that?
Less than a year. It was less than a year, but the sparkling note was Ken and I kept the music going.
Mm-hmm.
He still wanted to play, I still wanted to play, and we just said, let's do it. And we soldiered on. Even when we had no bass player at all or another guitarist, we were a two-piece. We played through Manchester and stuff, just as a
Wow.
two-piece. Racks. We played at Miller's Tavern.
So you're saying I shouldn't request that we play a Nirvana song in our next set?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want a guitar launcher, too.
Uh-oh. A pox on your gallbladder, sir. You had 30. You did 35 songs in that band. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, like, the couple pro jams were not bad. The Alice in Chains stuff I enjoyed.
Oh yeah,
doing because they were a little bit more technically challenging. We did what was that? Fall to Pieces. We did by Velvet Revolver.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the most. That was good because I'm like, hey, we're playing Slash.
it's a great song. Actually, I love that song. No, that's really cool. So, and you must have made some money doing that, right? Because you can can actually make money with a cover band.
You can, but when you divide up by 5 people and then you realize you're there at 7:30 in the evening, you're there until 1 a.m. You got to drive home, bring your own PA system. How much are you really making?
Yeah, that's true. Well, when you were down to only 2 people, you only had to split it 2 ways.
Exactly. But no, it was fun while it lasted. It filled a niche and it served a purpose. And once that purpose was done, we branched off, and the name keeps on going.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, we're here with 3 of the members of Purging Sin on Matt Connarton Unleashed. The number to call is 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. If you want to talk to these guys, if you want to chime in about anything, ask a question, make a comment, whatever.
We're just about ready to have the phone go ding-a-ding.
Yes, Virtual Glenn would love it if you call. We have another person here you guys can't see. His name's Virtual Glenn, and he just
Glenn.
he just kind of blurts stuff out, and-
What a fiasco.
Yes. So it's nice to have him around. Otherwise, it gets lonely. Not going to lie. So it was. So you and the other guy, Ken was his name,
Yeah.
and then you started Purging Sin out of that.
Yes, and we made the first record, and we had a couple members come and go, and they had all their reasons. Some were nicer than others. Some were more legal than others.
More legal than others?
Or illegal, I should say.
Well, I want to hear that story.
Well, one guy, he went. He's probably never gonna get out of jail. But he's been, narcotics stuff, and bad situation.
In New Hampshire, narcotics? You don't say.
That is shocking.
Stop it.
He made pretty good news. He tried bringing the stuff into jail.
Oh. Now, from what I understand, and I could be, I've never been to jail, but from what I understand, that's frowned upon.
Yeah. But, all the power to him.
Sure. Well, personally, I oppose the drug war, so unless he did anything violent, I don't think he should be in jail. Did he do anything violent?
Well, he did pass a threatening note to a pharmacy teller.
Oh, geez, really?
So, yeah. How's that opinion now?
Oh, yeah. He doesn't sound so nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
A threatening note like...
Did it say, where's your bathroom?
No.
Can I have some gum or something?
That actually would be funny.
It probably was along the lines of, I have a weapon of some sort, take your pick, give me, whatever he was asking for, whatever pills he was asking for.
Right.
And
don't try this at home, listeners.
No,
Please don't.
I don't encourage any of that behavior at all. I'm
Purging Sin does not endorse this behavior.
Right, yeah.
No,
exactly.
We're honestly, I'm very happy. We are a drug-free band.
Yes.
We don't do any substances, and it's quite shocking when you think of, like, metal. I'm like, no, we don't. I mean, why would I want to go normal?
Right. There you go.
That's actually a really good thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think some of us can speak for that some bands, the excesses overtake the actual music, which for me, I'm very serious about playing.
Yeah, good.
Right.
So that also played into my part of coming back to this band the second time around.
Yeah.
Because you go out there and some of these guys they're playing on stage and they don't even remember the words or whatever. And
Sure.
I'm not down with that. I want to be able to play everything the way it's supposed to be played. And
Same time too. Like, I mean, we all work for a living. We all we all play together. But same time too, wherever we work, we try to keep our nose clean just so we can have our good jobs.
Yeah.
I think for us, the music is the high, really. I mean, it sounds cheesy or
Exactly.
cliche, but it really is.
Yep.
Us performing on stage when we played these last few shows, what was it, December, man? That was
Three
Oh,
shows,
yeah.
three shows in
Awesome.
5 days.
Oh, good,
Yeah, that
good.
was so
An
much
early
fun.
tour, if you will.
2 in Manchester, one was a radio show in Norwood, Mass.
Oh, okay. Where in Manchester did you play?
Shawskeen and Bungalow.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Was it Scrimmy who booked you at the Shasky?
Was the
Yep.
one and only.
Yep, we played with Mark Rizzo from Soulfly.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very happy with us. He actually
good.
he reached out about wanting to record and produce our next album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
So we're our ears went pink.
Yes.
Right up.
Exactly.
More than our ears, if you know what I mean.
Why'd they go bink? Do you have tinnitus?
No, I
do,
wear
for sure.
earplugs.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
I wear earplugs.
I wish I had worn earplugs more when I played,
Oh, yeah.
because now I definitely have. I got the constant ringing.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
so when I was growing up, my teenage years, watching the interviews from the members of the Who, and they talked about all the ringing, the amps and explosions. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want that.
Yeah,
So
and
I started young wearing earplugs.
Yeah.
Same thing with. I actually saw an interview with Tom Araya, the bassist and lead singer from Slayer, and like he's never worn earplugs at a concert, and like he can barely hear. Same thing with Brian Johnson from AC/DC. He
He had to give up.
Yeah.
he had to give up because he couldn't hear. It was tough. So
Yeah.
and that's one of your most important things next to your hands is your ears for a musician. So
Oh, yeah.
you got to take good care of them.
My tinnitus, it's been stable. I only notice it if I'm alone and it's completely silent. That's when I notice the ringing. Other than that, I'm not conscious
Hear the
of it.
silence so loud.
But I do worry about it a little bit. Years ago, I saw. Oh, hello to Fred Bonig from the DailyRipple.org,
Hey,
who
Fred.
joins us
Hi.
in the
Hey.
in
What's
the
up, Fred?
Facebook live chat. He's a radio guy. Years ago, I saw, and this was probably more over a decade ago, but I saw this interview with William Shatner, and this might have been 20 years ago, actually.
William Shatner.
Yes. It's a living legend. But he was talking about he had really severe tinnitus. And he thinks he knows where it came from because there was an episode of Star Trek they were filming where there was something had to go bang. There was like a loud pop. There was supposed to be an explosion. And I guess the door was shut in the studio and it was supposed to be open. So he was standing too close when somebody set it off, so it went right into his ear, and it crept up years. I mean, he had no way of being sure that that's where it came from, but he suspected that it was from that moment. And he said, now eventually, it got so bad. Fortunately, he was able to have a surgery because they've come a long way with this. There's a surgery they can do now to relieve that.
Yep.
But he said it got so bad, and this haunts me to this day, these words. It got so bad that he considered suicide because it
Really?
was just constant and it was unbearable.
Wow.
And, and then he found a doctor who told him, no, there's something we can do. And so now it's not a problem for him, but I've never forgotten that. I think of that every time my ears ring. I think,
Wow.
Right.
That bad.
I think of Shatner and I think of what he said, and I'm like, oh, I got to be really careful.
Right.
Yeah. Like today, if I go to a show, I wear earplugs. I was, I remember too. I don't think he was talking about me, but I went to see the last time I went to a show at the, it's not the Comcast Center anymore, is it? Or is it?
It's the Xfinity Center
The
now.
Xfinity Center, yeah. The last show I went to there, I went with my friend Dan. And as we're leaving, because I always wear earplugs now because I'm so worried about, I hear William Shatner's words in my head as well as the ringing. So as we're leaving, I hear some guy behind me like making fun of people who wear earplugs, and I don't think he was talking about me, but he might have been. He might have seen me taking them out as we were leaving. But
I just got a text message from from Papa Metal, my father. He said, yeah, that's why he makes me wear them. So
yeah,
granted, thanks,
Good.
Pops.
Good. Fred in the Facebook live chat says, yes, I believe Ozzy also says he got high on the music. I think Fred's making a little joke there. Ozzy
Probably a little
might have
more,
said
but-
that.
Right.
Ozzy's pretty deaf now too, I think, from what I hear. But
Yeah.
almost, I guess it doesn't matter much. He just kind of, not to make fun of Ozzy, but
How old is he, man?
69.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
he's
69.
He's creeping up to his 70s. I remember seeing that somewhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there though. He used to do stuff for like athlete's foot, taking like Oh
yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, he was a crazy guy.
Oh yeah. So what you said? Your dad Papa Metal?
Yes. So back in the day, I had a radio station when I was in college, and it was just like playing all classic heavy metal. And
you were when you were in college. You were a DJ at the college station?
Yes.
What college?
Southern New Hampshire University down in Hooksett, actually.
Oh, they have a college station?
Yeah, they have they have an internet station. It's not like actually.
Oh, it's only online. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I did myself. I wanted to see a kind of like a classic metal show, and it was like every Wednesday night, I think, from like 8 to 10. So, but played all the classic metal, and my father actually came up to me one night, and he had suggested a song which was Y&T "Summertime Girls," and
yeah,
and so as I was writing the script for my radio show, that thought just like came right into my head, like as a good nickname, because I wanted it to be anonymous.
Yeah,
and that nickname just stuck with him through all the years. So my father is now affectionately called Papa Metal, and he's he's hitting me on the horn right now. So he
oh, that's cool.
So he's listening.
He's listening. Good,
awesome.
Good. Is he a musician?
He told me he did play drums back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Watch out! Might take my spot.
Yeah, have him tell him to get his gallbladder checked.
But he has, he played back in the day. He told me a story that his band that he was with, he actually played and opened for Quiet Riot.
Yeah,
but like when they were actually still big in the '80s, so it was like it was just kind of like a cool story to hear. And but yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, that's very cool. Is that? Do they still have that station online?
They should. Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't know they had anything. That's cool. That's good to know. I'll have to.
Yeah, I
look
mean,
into that.
Of course, like with the college station, it's usually just like the other kind of music of like just retro 70s pop, 80s pop.
Brian was the Howard Stern of the Hooksett, New Hampshire.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, but I just had a blast like playing the classic metal, and of course me listening to Dee Snider like every Saturday night, Sunday night, wherever I was located. That was where I got the inspiration from. And it actually got to the point where Dee, when I was still on Twitter, he actually tweeted to me a request, and that was just like one of those things that just like really made my day. So I played his request, which was Denim and Leather by Saxon.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
That was a cool moment for me.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm curious, with that station being only online, did they insist that you follow FCC rules, or did you not have to worry about it? Like,
no, we did have to follow.
Yeah.
We did have to follow FCC rules. Any songs we were played, we had to mark down so that way we gave the artist credit. Of course, we couldn't say anything that could be seen in a George Carlin show.
Yeah,
but it's,
what are those 7 words?
You're not going to get me again. But no, we followed our rules, and at the same time too, we were on our own with the mixing board and everything, and it was just a fun little thing to do on Wednesday night. But when schoolwork catches up with you, it's just kind of. It was kind of hard to just like keep up into another semester. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Speaking of radio shows,
yes,
I'm actually a co-host on a radio show. Maybe you've heard of it. Ashley Bottom's Appetite for Discussion. It's out of
yes.
Yeah,
I gave a like to that Facebook page like 2 weeks ago. Yep. Was that you?
Yeah. So Ashley is the host, the creator.
Okay.
And I actually just joined, did my second show on Monday.
You do have a great radio voice.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You do.
You. This is Casey Kasem on with the countdown.
I'm kind of jealous because I think, not to down myself, I think I have a good radio voice, but I think you have a great radio voice. I wish mine were a little bit deeper. If my radio voice were a little bit deeper, it's the shape of my nose. It's a problem.
It's a beautiful nose. I like it.
Thank you. But if I didn't have this little bump here, I wouldn't be as nasally as I am. So you're the co-host.
So
on
I'm the
that show?
co-host. I'm the second in command there. So yeah, we just moved locations, so we're kind of getting it off the ground. We moved from one location in a radio network from what was it, Norwood, Mass? Pretty long haul, and now it's in Watertown, WCAC. It's like more of a public access thing now, but it's in Watertown High School. It's like in the basement of the high school.
Oh, cool!
It's a pretty neat little setup. But yeah, I'm learning a lot, and it's pretty fun, and it's probably not as high tech as this studio here. I actually like this setup. I actually wish we could hijack it and take it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, everything here is very heavy. Trust me, I tried. I couldn't lift any of it. So now, does that stream live as well while you're on the air there, or?
I don't think. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah. You can
Yes,
stream it live on the internet.
Through Facebook Live, yes.
There is a link, I believe, on the WCAC website.
Yeah.
And then she always tapes it and then posts it later from like Hulkshare or something like that, some kind of site.
Okay.
And then she always streams it from her Facebook page and stuff. But
yeah.
We're working on trying to get live performances.
Oh, cool.
She did that a lot in her other studio. This one we haven't set it up yet, but
yeah. But you have space to do it there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool little learning experience.
So what is the show exactly? What do you do on it?
It's not a super structured show. A lot of politics, some music history. We obviously try to bring a band in every night. We have them booked ahead of time.
Yeah.
Do some interviews. If we could, we'd have them play.
Yeah.
We play their tracks, kind of like you did here. History of the band, kind of like what you're doing. Maybe not as structured. Kind of more of a free for all.
I'm pretty unstructured myself.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Why is it called? Is her name Ashley Bottoms?
Yeah, that's her like.
It sounds like a made up name.
It's like a stage.
Yeah, I
stage
think it's
name.
like a nom de plume or however you say it, like a stage name or something. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
pen name. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been doing it for about 6-7 years now.
Oh, okay.
So she's been hauling and doing it for a long time, and she's really cool to all the local bands. I mean, obviously metal is her forte.
Yeah.
But she's been really cool. She's really passionate about local music and having local bands and promoting them and doing what she can. And
good.
She comes out to some shows.
Yeah, she helped. We did a benefit show back in August in Somerville, Medford, Mass, one of those towns, and she came out and she was putting it up on her site as well, and that was really nice. To come out and help support a good cause as well. That wasn't necessarily affiliated with her station per se, but her station lent its name and resources to the benefit show as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. No, that's really cool. How did you become the co-host on that?
Actually, I had been on the show twice. Once a few years ago, and there was a co-host, and then the second time was December. What was that?
17, something like that.
Recently we played, and it was a 4-hour like marathon show.
Yeah.
And there was no co-host. And I said, "What's up with that?" And off the air, she was saying, "Well, we've had some co-hosts, and they come and go, and people have stuff going on." And I said, "I'll do it."
Right.
And she said, "Cool." In the heat of the moment, whatever.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, I said, "I really want to do it." And I hit her up, and she's like, "We don't have a studio right now. We're working on it." I said, "No, I want to help you out. I know I can help you with the bands. I have that connection with some bands, and maybe more of a technical side with music." And she was awesome and said, "Yep, I'd love that." And we've had a pretty good chemistry so far. And
yeah, great.
if I can, I'd like to plug the show. Can I?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
so
please.
It's WCAC. If you go on that website, you should be able to find it. And it's Monday nights, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
So this Monday coming up, it's a holiday, Martin Luther King Day, so the school is closed, so we won't have it. But if you guys, some of your listeners want to check it out, sometimes it's funny stuff, sometimes it's some cool stuff. There's some political stuff, but right now I don't think we have a call-in line, but you can comment on the Facebook thing and everything. So it's just a fun show.
What kind of, because we do politics a lot on this show, what kind of political stuff? Like, is it opinion driven? Like, do you give political
opinions?
opinions?
I think it's more of an op-ed opinion
really,
driven.
Yeah.
Our show is more of a conservative leaning show.
Yeah.
But we welcome anybody and any kind of comments or whatever viewpoints. I mean, it'd be boring if everyone agreed.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be so boring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do. I mean, mostly we do politics on this show, actually, but obviously we mix in some music as well,
Yes.
and it's good to mix it up. But I feel like this is such an amazing time. It's like Brian Brody, who hosts a show online called All Natural Being, always says this is like the greatest time to be alive because there's always
so much material,
so much. Yeah, there's so much going on. It's like. Like to prepare, because sometimes I'll be here all alone, or sometimes, certain people, like sometimes Jenny comes in with me or whatnot. But even if I'm by myself for the full 2 hours, it's like there's so much going on. It's like every day.
And it's
so
while
much.
you're on the air, there might be another breaking story or something. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's just incredible. It's no matter how you feel about Trump, whether you like him, whether you don't like him, or somewhere in between, it's like, it's always entertaining, and there's always just stuff to talk about. I originally started this as a podcast back in 2011, and I would do it once a week for like an hour, and it was like, and my approach to it then was, it was kind of like trying to, okay, every week I'd have to find, come up with some specific things that I thought were interesting enough, or try to find something that I could rant about because people like my rants, But now it's easy. Like it's like, go online, a couple hours before the show, see what happened today.
You don't have to dig super deep for some stories.
No,
it's all right there. Okay.
No, and I'll have a bunch of stuff prepared, and we might not get through all of it. We might not get through any of it because other things have happened, and it's incredible. So it's a good time to be a broadcaster,
And I think that you hit on one thing about the politics is, for me, like say on the Ashley Bottoms show, I don't mind maybe speaking my mind about politics or where I stand on issues.
Yeah.
But I think musically, I can just speak for myself and maybe these guys. That's the biggest turnoff for me is other bands or actors or whoever when they force their opinion on you,
Right.
And I think like I've seen so many bands and I'm like, man, I love that band. And then they open their mouth and they say some garbage and you're like, bro, I'm just here to forget about the real world. I want to listen to music. For example, I went to the Slayer show. Me and Anthony and Matt, who's not here, went to the Slayer show this past summer.
Oh, he was there too.
We were all here. We were all there.
We were all there.
And what was the band? What was the opening band? Nuclear?
Oh, Napalm Death.
Napalm Death. The guy is British, and he started talking about Trump, and I'm like, bro, I'm just here to watch the show, man. Please, I really think maybe bands should, maybe if it's in your lyrics or something, but man, sometimes just alienate people. I don't like that,
Yeah. I'm not personally bothered by it. I think it's interesting, and I can compartmentalize pretty easily, music and someone's opinions but and I'm an independent, so I kind of get along with everybody anyway. But
there you go.
But the greatest example though that I've witnessed in person of what you were just talking about is, let's see, it would have been 91 or 92. My friend Dan and I went to see Queensryche, and they were playing. I think it was at that point. It was still the Boston Garden. Well, now it's back to being that, right?
Yeah.
But and the opening. Do you guys remember a band called Warrior Soul?
No.
They never had any big hits or anything, but they were the opening band for Queensryche. And I mean, Queensryche is sort of quasi-political, right? But not overtly.
They're like a pseudo-industrial metal kind of thing. I mean, I've seen them in concert twice. I've met them. They're cool dudes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, like with like everything, the lyrics are driven. It's kind of like early industrial kind of metal sort of thing. But it's like, that's just kind of how they developed it.
Yeah. But Warrior Soul, they were like super political. Like I'd never seen anything like it. Oh, this was during the lead up to the first Gulf War.
Oh boy. Okay.
And the lead singer for Warrior Soul. And it's funny because, at the time I was much more of a liberal, and my friend Dan was and still is a Republican. So he and I disagreed on this, but the lead singer of Warrior Soul was like, he's going, our president wants to send your kids off to die, and he wants them to go and die and he was like saying this stuff between each song.
Yeah.
At one point he's trying to lead the crowd in a chant of F Bush. Except he wasn't saying F, but and by the end of their set, it was like, I don't even remember the music. I just remember, half the crowd was booing and half the crowd was cheering, or it's probably more like a third was booing, a third was cheering, and a third didn't know what to do. Kind of perplexed.
They were just like holding tightly onto the beer, like, do I throw this or do I not?
Yeah. It actually surprised me a little bit in a way that the reaction seemed so divided because, it's a very liberal area. So you would almost expect, and maybe he thought that, Boston, Massachusetts.
Go over well or something, yeah.
Right. But there were a lot of boos. And I don't know how many of the boos were people who didn't agree with him or people who just didn't like that he was being so political. But I've never seen anything like it since. Like something that, I mean, some bands you expect, and like Rage Against the Machine, you expect something political, or even the Beastie Boys would get, or Megadeth, yeah, certainly. but I'd never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's crazy.
rest assured, when we play live, none of those
No.
rants. We don't do.
Yeah.
We're there for the music.
Yeah.
Everybody's there to escape. We're there to help them lead on the escape, if you will.
We don't want anyone feeling alienated or wrong or bad, or we just want everyone to have a good time.
Right, right. Absolutely. And how is your co-host with you expressing yourself politically? She's cool with it?
Yeah, she's actually very conservative as well.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I kind of took her lead on that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's surprisingly, for a Massachusetts person, a very conservative leaning.
Really? Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, it's fun though. It's a good show.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm going to check that out. And it is online, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you can listen to some past episodes too.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, hey, let's play another track because we're going to run out of time if we don't. Let's play something, and then maybe we'll even fit in one more at the end. What do you guys want to play next? You tell me.
Well, happiness is a bullet away.
We can do that.
I don't have that one ready.
I was going to say, do you have Stab You in the Back ready?
Yes, I've got that one.
Sure.
Let's do that one.
All right, cool. So this is, I like the title. All right, this is called...
very happy.
This is Stab You in the Back from Purging Sin here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. There we go. Oh, I like that. That is Stab You in the Back by Purging Sin here on Matt Connarton Unleashed on WMNH 95.3 FM. There's you can't see him, he's off camera, but the Honorable Eric Eastman just entered the room. He's over there in the corner. I like the fringe on the jacket there. It's very reminds me of he looks like he's there you go.
He actually started the mosh pit when he came in.
Yes. Which actually is not allowed in here, Eric. How dare you? But I've already gotten in trouble for that ever since that guy fell out the window.
What?
And plunged to his death. Oof. And apparently the insurance we have here doesn't cover that. It was it was all quite terrifying.
State Farm.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Affleck.
It could have been worse. At least his gallbladder was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, I'm going to get checked out now.
Yes. So we are here with the guys from Purging Sin. We'll be wrapping up in a couple minutes because after us, of course, on Wednesdays is Off the Mark Sports with the great Kyle Heavey. He'll be coming in. I don't know anything. You guys know anything about sports?
How about them Pats,
Enough.
baby?
Red Sox.
No.
Patriots, big game
I'm
Sunday.
Professional bowling.
I'm very sports illiterate. I don't even know how many quarters are in a baseball game. I'm completely clueless. And
You know, there's an AFC Championship game this Sunday.
what's AFC like?
American Football Conference. So
Game right before the Super Bowl.
Of course, our Patriots.
It's like
we're going on to play Kansas City.
some kind of conference. So what do they talk about football? What do they do? There's Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Not for nothing, but one of the people in this broadcast room was at the KC game, the Kansas City Chiefs game at Arrowhead Stadium this past weekend, and I got to tell you, it was a maelstrom. It was a tempest. It was a blizzard. And those guys can play. Tyree is part spider. It's going to be interesting to see how they do against our Pats.
Wow.
We've done it once, brother. We can do it again.
That's what I was thinking, too. He's another guy with a great radio voice.
I was noticing that. Yeah.
Very envious.
Very rich tones. And
Yes.
stuff,
I feel so nasally next to you guys. It's awful. It's really
Usually if I have to put on a radio voice, I usually just kind of have to fake it. So
yeah,
it's like
well, yeah. So when you did the show at SNU, what did you fake it? Did you do a? Let's hear your fake radio voice.
Oh boy.
No, it wasn't. I mean, like it was me, just like kind of as I'm talking right now. But I love just like kind of. I did a lot of voices when I was growing up, and it was just a lot of fun. So
Do your Lemmy voice.
Oh man.
Do my Lemmy voice?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't do that. It's like I'd be like straining myself, but it's like if I was doing like a jazz radio thing, like you're listening to 99.5 WZID.
I need a cigarette after that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So
no kidding,
smooth.
huh?
Yeah. And it's just
Smooth jazz.
Smooth Jazz, the smoothest station in all of southern New Hampshire.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, goodness. Jeez.
I know.
How come I never heard you on the radio? I was there for 3 years.
Yeah.
I went from 6
It
to
was
midnight.
as I said, it was a Wednesday night. It was like, as I said, from like 8 to 10 at the time. But
yeah.
no, not 8 to 10, 8 to 9. It was a 1 hour set. But
Fire class.
yeah.
I thought you were going to do some impersonations, like celebrity impersonations or something.
Oh, jeez. Even like with the cartoon voices I did on the Ashley Bottom show.
Oh boy, no, no Beavis and Butthead. Jesus Christ.
Hey, we got a fan in here. All right.
Yes. There you go.
Awesome.
Well, we do need to start to wrap up in a moment, but before we do, and we'll play one more track to finish out the segment because the next show is going to be coming in. But what do you guys need us to know about in terms of keeping up with what you're doing online? Any social media? Any shows you got coming up?
We're on Facebook. We're on Reverb Nation. Our website will very soon be up. Actually, I have my partner in crime next to me. She's done leaps and bounds helping with a lot of the media stuff.
Do you want to introduce her?
Hi, this is Jenny Noel, soon to be Noel Nicastro.
Fiance.
Hi.
Yeah, so she's my fiance, and she's
Okay.
I mean, she helps gratuitously very much with the band. I mean, she's helped with the artwork. She actually did the album cover as well. So she's spectacular.
Oh yeah, the album cover is badass. Yeah.
So, as far as media goes for songs, we have iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Is there any of them I'm forgetting?
Pornhub. Oh no, wrong one. Sorry.
No, because
Well-
you said iTunes, Spotify. Did we do Google Play?
I think we might be on that.
Okay.
As far as shows go, the show we have booked concretely is on Saturday, April 6th, up in Westbrook, Maine, at the Skybox 212.
Okay.
We're opening up for a band called Air Force, and that features former members of Iron Maiden.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is that the thing with the? Because I saw something about this online with original members who, like from some before they were signed, who like got together and this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And we're opening up for them.
That's awesome. No, what's interesting about that is because the last time I had read about it, it wasn't even a done deal yet. That this was a while ago that they were going to actually do, like they were talking about doing something, but they weren't actually going to do it. But they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And you're opening for them. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. My friend Paul Engelhardt he used to be in a band called Saturn's Return.
Yes, I know Paul. Yeah.
Very, very nice guy. He actually helped get a metal festival a couple years ago out in Akron, Ohio, and they
Wow.
played. And I went out with them, and it was a 2 days called Judah Fest.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. So he's very good at organizing this kind of this stuff.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a little bit of a drive, but it'll be certainly worth it.
Definitely, yeah. Well, guys, let's play one more track before we run out of time. And thank you all for coming in. This was a
Hey, thanks
lot
for
of fun.
having us. It was awesome.
It's been
Absolutely,
My pleasure.
We'll have to have you back again when you've got more shows and stuff to talk about, and you can come in anytime, talk about politics you want to.
right.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
do it.
seriously, that would be awesome.
Convert me to your independent side, maybe.
I don't try to
We'll see.
convert anybody. I just like to. I just think it's fun to talk about it all. But I appreciate the Pornhub joke though. That was really that was really funny.
Had to get that in there.
that was good. What do you guys want to play to wrap up the show?
If Happiness is a Bullet Away is available. If not, Running Away from Your Deepest Fear.
I don't have that one on here either. I have your Reverb Nation page open. How about Blind Justice?
Sure.
Yeah, we can do that one.
We'll play that one. It's a good long song.
That's a nice breakdown.
And I like the name. All right, cool. So we'll wrap up with that. So thank you guys, and thank you to everybody online. If you missed any part of the show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. Stick around. Off the Mark Sports with Kyle Heavey is up next, live here on WMNH 95.3. And here it is from Purging Sin. This is Blind Justice, and I will talk at y'all a little bit later. Oh, what's wrong? There it is.
RPMNation.com.